Alright, welcome back to another league race. This time with FTRL for round number, I don't know what this is. It's the first race after the Christmas break though. So it's around Circuit of the Americas for the US Grand Prix. One I look forward to every season. That's on the calendar, basically. There are several tracks that I enjoy more than others. These are very few and far between. They are the Monaco Grand Prix, the Singapore Grand Prix, the Japanese Grand Prix, perhaps the British Grand Prix, and Circuit of the Americas. Not in any particular order, but those are the five by far that I look forward to the most. And I'd say I put the Silverstone last at that group. That's how much I love the others. And I love this track too. It's been a good track to me. It's where I got my first ever league race win back in F1 2016. This is my final lap in qualifying. It is an utterly shit lap. My best lap was a 130.2 with a potential of 130 if I ever got this first turn right. But just a really bad lap when it mattered most. So it is just going to set up a number of disappointments in this race today. So, but yeah, I do love this track. I love this windy bit. It is very enjoyable once you have the setup hooked up, which I feel like I have. I'm running 5.9 wings. Downforce is king. Look at that, just horrific. Like, you want to take a wide entry into that, and it's just so bad. Like a 131 is a terrible lap time. I'm barely half a tenth up, heading through a sector and a half. So it's just so bad, and more really poor run out of that hairpin there. So it's just so bad. I debate whether I just bail on this one. I decide I might not have enough fuel to make it to the end of the lap, and then another flying lap on top of that. So that's why I decided to stick with it. Really, I should have bailed after. I mean, look at that. It's so bad. I'm trying very, very hard to try and salvage something from it, but it's really bad. But I really love this track. It's one that suits me greatly in terms of racecraft. It suits me in terms of penalties. I'm excellent at not getting penalties. This track plays into my hands beautifully because not everyone can avoid penalties here due to the high-speed nature and the track limits. So it's one I usually go very well at, this track. This track has been very good to me, and it continues to be the case. Not today in qualifying, at least. It's 13th, and then I'll turn to 14th. So I thought I had a chance to out-qualify my teammate for the first time, but if everything had gone to plan, I could have. But yeah, sadly, I'm 14th place, 1.6 seconds off the pace, and very much out of place on this grid. I could easily be up in 12th or 11th, so maybe even 10th. Disappointing in qualifying. Now we come to the race again. Plenty of opportunity to be had. Like, okay, this qualifying is normally a disappointing affair for me, but plenty of chances to be active in the race. Again, this is one of the races that really comes to me. I let the race come to me in this stage. I let everyone else rack up their penalties. I just keep plugging away at it. And even though I'm not the quickest, eventually something happens, or it falls into place by the end of the race. But here we go then, 5 red lights. And away we go. It's an average start. I thought I got off the line well enough, but it's not actually the best start in the world. We started on softs because I think it just covers me better for safety cars and such in the early safety cars. Joe very wide at turn 1 there, so AP very wide as well. Going to the extreme left here, I see my teammate there. Thankfully, we all kind of file in. The two Williams up ahead. This first sector is basically a let's not run into the back of the car in front situation, basically. That's all we're doing here, and hope we don't lose too many positions in the process. But there's no real place to kind of send one either, unless you ride alongside. So I'm just kind of just minding my own business back here, just trying to not damage my wing, essentially. Is what the plan is here. So, a little duck here, a little duck left, a little duck right, a little duck. It's a chicken, but same difference. Tom loses the back end heading out of that hairpin. I want to try and get this done because he's on mediums. I'd like to try and stick with those on softs if I can. I committed a good amount of ERS to do this. I have to settle for the outside here. I have to try and tuck in then, and that move doesn't end up being completed. So that's unfortunate. I need to try and get by Tom as soon as possible. So 14th place, still the same place that we are, to start the race. Lap 3 and lap 4, Matt has disconnected. I actually go to the left-hand side because I knew he had just rejoined. And I was like, he could come back at any second. I've no idea what would have happened if I hadn't gone to the left-hand side there. No idea what could have happened. But I was out of the lag line, so to speak. But he is behind, so that's position gained at least. So unfortunate for him, but yeah, sadly his interest is shite. Lap 4, Tom has lost touch to DRS to Lennon in front. And now I can try and get this move done now myself. DRS overtake. I need to get this move done, and this is one of the very few overtakes I actually, like a genuine overtake I've actually made on track with someone this year, on this season. So very poor effort of it though. Very poor entry. I got too greedy on the throttle, so it kind of just forced me wide. We do get the move done though, and then Matt and Tom are going to squabble behind, and that's going to put enough separation to get me out of DRS range. Now, I'm out of DRS range myself, but so long as the driver behind me isn't in DRS, I can live with that. Lap 6, again, look at that, 1.5, layer that lap actually, basically onto the next lap, 1.7 behind, 1.1 to Matt. So I'm basically losing about 4 or 5 tenths down that back straight without DRS. But thankfully, things begin to bunch up a bit. Lap 7, I actually did get within DRS with that big gaggle in front, but now I decided to pull the trigger. And I know these tyres can go to the end from here. These mediums can go to the end from this point on. So me and Sway, we pulled the trigger. Sway had everything to lose, basically. I had everything to gain, because I was basically at the back of that group. Matt was still out of DRS, I believe. So I had everything to gain. Sway had everything to lose. We both decided to act in our best interests. I know the tyres can go to the end from here. So it's just laps of fury now at this stage, just trying to get this done. Links into the pits. We jump him. We jump Aaron. And we jumped Lennon as well. We didn't jump Links. We jumped Aaron and we jumped Lennon. So good stop there. And we cleared DRS of those guys too. Now Lennon's on soft, so he'll have to pit again. So I'm hoping for a little commotion between himself and Aaron, like maybe escape a few seconds up the road. 8 tenths back. Lap 11. I thought I was safe. I've got little ERS to play with. No, I am not safe. Aaron coming like an absolute truck in terms of speed. Leaving the space on the inside. Lennon somehow ends up on my inside here now. So I had to try and... almost got sandwiched there. Somehow we didn't crash. Car in the middle always has the most to lose in that situation, I think, because there's a squeeze. But somehow we all get through. But I did lose 2 places on the cars I undercut. So things are kind of unraveling a little bit here, though. I know Aaron is just playing faster, and I know Lennon's got soft. So some of that comes into it, but not ideal to be losing places you gain in undercuts. Say VSC is deployed. There's Lynx actually, who's in front of us, actually ended up binning it. So you're noticing then a lot of penalties on the left hand side. I've got no penalties. I've got 1 warning, I think, at this stage. But this is what I've been waiting for in this race. Before I get into that though, this VSC actually brought Joe into it because he got to make his stop under this VSC. But he's putting on softs and they won't go to the end either. But he's gained a lot of time that he wouldn't otherwise have gained under that VSC because he started on mediums. Anyways, here we go. It is ending. So he's on soft, so I know he's going to be coming at me soon. But, yeah. So this is what I've been waiting for. Waiting for people to rack up penalties. Look at that. 6 seconds for Lennon, 6 seconds for AP. We're only lap 13, so, you know. But speaking of AP, I try and defend this. He goes to the outside. I try late on the brakes. He's going to get some sort of switchback. Overtake off of that corner on the switchback is really powerful. I'm going to stay committed to this, though. I'm staying committed to the inside line. I think he has to yield. I expect him to yield, and he did yield. So I was able to, a bit of bravery there, able to keep that position and keep DRS to Aaron, but it was a futile effort. Later that lap, AP goes through. I did make contact, no wing damage, thankfully this time around. Though I wouldn't have put past my luck for wing damage to occur in that particular spot. So now I really struggle with understeer. This is one area of the track. I've been behind cars most of the race. I just died at this particular lap. Not sure why. I knew Joe was going to get through, so try and let him through if I can to help my teammate out a bit. Matt, I was going to fight though, because Matt has got 6 seconds worth of penalties. We're on the same tyres. You know, I want to try and fight this. You know, Joe, that's a losing fight. I'm not going to be able to keep him behind on softs. There's no point in impeding him. And then Matt, nothing doing down this main straight. I was able to stay in front. And this starts a back and forth between myself and Matt. Lap 16 though, so when things begin to shift a bit. He couldn't get by me for a few laps there, but he's now going for it. I go defensive, late on the brakes. He's going to try and get a switchback of sorts, but no, I actually defend that. We place the car correctly, and Matt is unable to get by. So Matt's struggling. I'm not sure what wings he was running. Turns out I was running the highest wings by far. I should have stayed at 5. 5 was the sweet spot. 6 was too much. So, you know, that's a mistake I made. So, lap 16 though, heading on to lap 17, Kelvin then is dropping in front. I'm not sure if he's pitted, but he's got 9 seconds worth of penalties. and we need to dispatch him quickly. I'm losing touch with AP. I'm losing touch with Joe up front. There, he's already dispatched Sway. He's already dispatched Aaron as well. So, this was a long one from me. I had to get this moved on. Space was left. I was convinced I was going to get my third penalty, my third warning there. A very sloppy move. Like how far I go on the outside here. It just shows you how much Kelvin's tires were dying. I almost thought Matt was going to get through here as well, but Matt gets through on Kelvin. So lap 18 though, I can only hold Matt behind for so long. I was going to go for a late jink to the right, but that's where Matt placed his car, so I had to jink to the left then. He's going to get a better exit than me, and now he is through. So my objective now, it was a valiant effort. Matt's much quicker than me. I got him behind, kept him behind for a lot longer than I thought I would have. So, but now I want to try and stay within his DRS. Kelvin behind, I'm not too worried about. Tom on sauce behind again. You know, he's got to make another stop at some stage. But if you've noticed, I've been using first gear for some of these corners. I'm going to do so again here. And heading through this hairpin, the car just gives up on me. The rears go. I've gone to first gear in that corner for most of the other laps, and this was a huge surprise. I just wait for the cars to pass by. This shocked me. This legitimately shocked me what happened here. I am gutted this happened. It has been a very long time since I've crashed on my own. If it isn't, then please remind me when I last did it. This does not happen often. This is not a thing that happens often. And that's the first time I've struggled for traction heading out of turn 1. At this track, I've struggled for traction at this part of the track at times as well, even that corner we just went through. But heading through that hairpin onto that back straight, not once have I lost the car. Not in any practice, not in any qualifying session, nothing. Also, the car was an absolute boat. Even though I got half a front wing, but you'd never know it. So the race is over at this stage. I've got no penalties, but that means nothing now. Just gutted, man. I'm absolutely gutted. I know the tyres would have been touch and go. I was confident we could have got them to the end. But now I have to hope for a safety car. At this stage, I'm just deflated, man, like a balloon. Just gutted. Nothing matters in this race anymore. I also botched qualifying because I should have had a new set of softs available to me. I used the wrong set of softs. I need to start using the Q3 set.
Kevin's gonna get disqualified.
I believe because I only did 2 runs in qualifying. No, sorry, scrap that. I used the new set to start the race on. That's what it was. So that's why I didn't have any new sets. That thought just occurred to me now. But we're in 17th place. So I'm driving very slowly. Like I'm just short shifting. You know, I'm just trying to avoid a penalty. I'm just hoping for a safety car. Pagani comes out. So I was like, I don't want to do this. Like, I don't want to be racing another car. He sets the fastest lap behind me. Again, I'm not pushing at all. I decided to fight this one though. I decided, you know what, we can maybe try and make some fun. If we crash, who cares? We're at 16th and 17th place. But it was good to play ball here with Pagani. Side by side through the S's. Plenty of space left. You know, good stuff given. You know, I'm not sure if he was impressed by any of this, but he gets through there. Again, I don't really care. He's got a penalty. I honestly didn't even care if he cleared it, you know. I was going to try and stick within DRS if I could, though, but I'm just trying not to get a penalty at this stage. That's all I'm trying to do. And hoping in the last few laps there could be a surprise safety car, but nothing came. And yeah, we're just going to sit behind Pagani and try and, yeah, well, you know, yeah, there's nothing else to say. I tried to fight back here, but yeah, I'm just too far back this time. He left the space, to be fair to him, but you know, even there's some gaps, even though I won't go down, you know. So very disappointing race. Scuba won the race on penalties in the end. Fair play to him. I'm going to just jump Pagani for P14. So started P14, finished P14. A lot happened in between. Very disappointing. I would not have cared if this happened at Belgium. Yeah. I would not have cared if this happened at Spain. I would not have cared if this happened at, I don't know, Russia. But to happen at COTA, a track I love, a track, look at that, like Matt would have finished 7th. Joe, who had to make a second stop after his stop into the VSE, finished 8th. Tom, who had to make he actually didn't make another stop, but I should have been in the 6 to 8 range today, and yeah, I'm very gutted not to be there. So a very disappointing result. Leaves it's a stinger. It's an absolute stinger. Because I would not. Well, I say I wouldn't care. I would care, but I wouldn't care as much a track because I love COTA so much, and it's a track I run well at. It plays to my strengths. I'm very disappointed not to have converted it into a good result today. And the potential is definitely there. The potential is definitely there to make a top 10 finish happen, and I need those. And not to get it today was a tough one. But there you go. That's going to do it for round whatever the fuck this is at this stage. I believe next is Spa again. We'll see what happens. Looking forward to Sprint League tomorrow. An instant opportunity to try and get a good result back on the table. I could do with a good bounce back result after this. So I forget what tracks there. I think there's Japan as one of them. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Anyways, thanks very much for watching, and until next time.